song called Corrida de Toros, which is a Spanish for bullfight. And bullfighting is a Spanish tradition, and it's a song about the hip-hop industry and how it's a fight, but I use that as my analogy. And he does the intro in Spanish in that song. We eventually shot a video for it, and we used the concept of professional wrestling to show the fight, and he was the ring announcer.
I saw that. I saw that video. That was dope. You shot it in a dome, right?
That's right. That's right.
Were you doing the stunts in that?
Yes, man. I trained.
You got to see that video.
I trained with people. I trained with professional wrestlers for 2 weeks so I could do it right, and it hurt.
I was like, I'm gonna ask him.
Yeah. So my dad was always supportive of me, man. And it's an interesting thing because I told you about my mom's my best friend. My mom and I clicked better in terms of our personalities, but she wasn't about the music. My dad was like, yo, I need copies of your album so I can send them to Spain. Like, he was proud of me in that way.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
And
you got it.
And I have to say this, he was the greatest damn grandfather in the world. When my daughter was born, I might get emotional here. When my daughter was born, I saw my dad in a way
different light.
I'd never seen him like this before. He had a relationship with Melina, my little girl, that he did not have with me. We had what ended up being a good relationship over the long haul. I mean, my dad was still a good dad when I was a kid. I went to baseball games and Leafs games, and I went to WrestleMania, bro. Like, my dad was there for me. But this guy was so in love with Melina. My daughter would come over to the house, to my parents' house, and she's abuelo! She's yelling for her abuelo. And they would play, and he'd say, I love you. And, like, I don't remember him saying that to me. I'm not saying he didn't, but just like that connection was like nothing else. And it hurts that he's gone, but it's amazing that my daughter does remember him and also had him, at the very least, had that experience.
And you have video. I'm pretty sure you got video and
tons of video. The voice that you hear at the beginning. So my latest album ends with a song for Abuelo, and that's a clip of
Abuelo means grandfather.
Grandfather,
right?
in Spanish.
In
yes.
Spanish, yes.
Correct.
Matter of fact, it's my mom's birthday today. She turned 67.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So how do you say happy birthday in Spanish?
Feliz cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños, mama.
Sí. I'm glad I know that because I don't know a lot of Spanish, man. So you made me look good right there. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Feliz cumpleaños to your moms. That's dope. So yes, my dad tragically passed. He was struck by a vehicle in 2017.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so what I want to mention about that is that we have since put up...
I was under just the impression that maybe just illness or anything.
No, he was in good health and in high spirits.
My.
And
it must have been devastating.
It was. No question. No question it was. But what I can tell you...
Was it a hit and run or anything?
No, thankfully not.
Was the person drinking? Was just
person wasn't drinking.
Straight accident.
The police report found that the driver had even stopped and gotten out of the car, was not inebriated or...
How old was that?
He was 71.
So he was up there.
He was.
So getting hit, those injuries might not... Like, what caused...
I mean,
Was it head? Did he hit his head?
He was severely damaged. I mean, yeah, when you get hit by a car, I mean, not that I want to get into his autopsy report, but like it was instantly, he was gone. And if he had, here's an interesting thing about it. I do my best to remember this to take some sort of solace or find some peace of mind, is that my dad experienced both of his parents passing with issues due to brain cancer, his sister as well. Even on my other side, my mom's side of the family, there's been cancer, there's been deaths that have been long and painstaking, suffering, hospital visits, the whole deal. And my dad actually told us he never wanted that to happen to him.
That's funny.
And I'm not saying he asked to be killed instantly, but what I'm saying is he never... the suffering was pretty instantaneous.
He doesn't want that.
And if my dad had survived, he would not be the same person. And I know he wouldn't have wanted that. And I struggle to think that I would want that either. Like, he would not play with his granddaughter ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was hit by a car.
I get it.
So, but what I want to say about that, and yes, it was devastating, obviously shocking and all types of horrible. What good came from it is that we worked with the counselor at the time, Chin Lee, who I'd like to send a super shout out and love to, on getting the city of Toronto to put up traffic lights in the spot where my dad was hit. And so the lights that were not there before, that basically the way that it was right in the area where I grew up, and it was set up where there's bus stops on either side of the road. There's a community center on the other side of the road, the neighborhood on the other side of the road. People get on and off the bus, go to and from the neighborhood and the community center every day crossing the street. There's lights at one intersection north, there's lights at another intersection south, but they are both far and definitely too far to just nothing. So people crossed it every single day. I crossed it all the time when I used to live in the area. I see people, when I used to visit the area, like after my dad passed, I would take footage of it and show people, like, there's people, you always see people crossing. They're always risking, they got to look both ways, make sure there's no traffic. It was 9:30 at night, they didn't see him, whatever. So my dad is now saving lives because
of those traffic.
There are lights up. McCowan and Steeles in Scarborough, just south of Steeles on McCowan.
Wow.
And thanks to my dad, God willing, no one will ever die there again.
So, use one word to describe him.
Sorry, man.
Use one word to describe him, your dad.
My dad? These one-word questions are tough. Inspirational.
I can see what he meant to you,
I will say inspirational. I think one of the things that my dad was most proud of was that he came to this country without knowing the English language. He sacrificed his dream. He was a semi-pro soccer player, but he was shorter than me. I was the tall guy at home, and I'm 5'6". So
he's probably hard to take down.
He might have been, and he was quick. But
sure.
He was encouraged by his brother-in-law to come to Canada, where he was living at the time, learn the language, find a trade. That's what he did. And in doing that, earned himself a living, as you know the story now, got himself married to a Jamaican lady, bought a house, had 2 kids, and supported them till the day he died. And that's not something I've done. It's not like I've left my home country, not that I particularly need to, but he did things that I think took a lot of guts and courage, and also showed me, in spite of the arguments we used to have when I was younger, that he is the type of individual that I aspire to be, by way of always being there for his family, always being you could always depend on him. No matter what you thought of his opinions or his attitude, the stuff that we would butt heads about, you couldn't call him on not doing his job, doing his duty, being there and being the man of the house. So especially given the fact that I got to bear witness of him being a grandfather for 3.5 years, it helped me to be that much more dedicated to being a good father. Not that I wasn't, but in his name. I'm carrying on his name, you know what I'm saying? And my daughter carries our last name as well. So it is a legacy thing, yeah. So I'll say that much. So thank you for asking, by the way.
Oh, for sure. When I was doing my research, I seen how much of an impact it was.
That's big. You know That's big. I don't get asked that a lot.
So, closing.
Yeah.
There's this book that I published, based on letters I wrote my daughter while I was incarcerated. So
that's dope, man.
So now, as I'm sitting down with everybody that I'm sitting down with, I've had Mastermind sign this and wrote what he wanted to write in it.
Okay.
I've sat down with Jeru, the Damager, Cabby, some other folks. Hopefully, more people to come.
Yeah.
And basically, I just want you to, in a paragraph or so, I don't know.
Okay.
You could write rhymes.
Yeah.
But just a paragraph or so, picture yourself going away, of just not being able to see people you love for a long time, and you just want to leave them with a few words of encouragement, of something to live by.
Okay.
What would you say?
Wow.
Right. For me in particular, you could attest to being a father of a little girl. For me in particular, I was being away from my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine being away from people you love, somebody you love, like your daughter.
Yeah, that would be very hard.
And you don't know what the future holds or when you'll be able to see them again. So just
Okay.
Don't tell me.
That's some serious homework. That's also original. I've never done an interview where that's been the case. So big up, man. Big up, man, Ray, man. Respect for what you do. Thank you for having me as part of this. And please keep doing it, man.
27 Letter Podcast. Appreciate it.
No doubt,
Make
man.
sure
This was dope.
check out. What's your handle? Where could they?
Yeah, sure. On Instagram, it's Danio1010. DANEO 1010. On Twitter, it's Danio10. Danio.com is Dan-E-O. Dan-E-O.com. And you'll find all my music. The latest album is The Day It All Changed. If you spell my name right, Dan-E-O, you can find it at any music streaming platform, wherever you get music, whether it's Spotify, Apple, you name it. And of course, the CD is out, and vinyl is also coming out for this album. So if you're an old school head and need a physical copy, or you just want to bump it, you know how to find it.
For sure. So again, thank you all for joining us. Danny's going to write this little paragraph.
Yeah, man.
And we'll go from there. Thank you again for coming out. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. All right. Respect.
27 Little Podcast. Thank you for joining us.